Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show, checking the pulse of a highly anticipatory and excited Husker Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're like I am and you believe Nebraska can finish with a top 20 recruiting class, and smash that like button. By the way, they're number 19 right now as we speak. Flipped CORTEZ Mills, four-star wide receiver from Oklahoma, the second wide receiver commit that they've lost in the past week. So it's out of Oklahoma. Your loss is our gain. There's also another potential flip that could happen throughout the course of today. Now stay tuned because I'm going to give my final signing day reaction later on today after Matt Rhule's press conference. But if you're like me and you think we can have a top 20 recruiting class, smash the like button. Also, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of the stuff that's going on here on the Carriker Chronicles later today. Later this week, update on defensive coordinator news. Update on a particular quarterback. Oh, that's such a vague hint. I did that on purpose. All right. We have flipped four-star wide receiver CORTEZ Mills. We have our quarterback of the future beyond Dylan Raiola, Heinrich Haarberg. Okay. And there's rumors of a Nebraska player flipping from Nebraska and a player flipping to Nebraska. News changes every 5 minutes. It was funny. Right before I hit the button to record here, I was like, man, nothing's happened. It's been a slow 10 minutes. Just wait 2 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, before I dive into some of this, you probably may have heard this, but there was a Florida State plane at the Lincoln Airport earlier this week. Don't have to wonder why. Good luck to Tony White. But Terrence Knighton, as of yet, is still here in Lincoln. And I bring that up because Nebraska started their bowl practices. They're going to go Tuesday, Thursday this week. A lot of times you go 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but with signing day being on Wednesday, they'll probably go 4 days next week. But at that bowl practice was Terrence Knighton, Cam Lenhart, Riley Van Poppel, Vincent Shavers. That's all good signs. These guys are now in the portal. This practice was obviously yesterday, but Prince William and Yillen and James Williams were not there. Now we know why. All right. I have heard rumors continue to circulate about pot roast both ways. We'll see what happens. All right. Nebraska's signing class so far at the moment I'm recording this video. There were 19 players coming in today expected to sign with the Huskers. CORTEZ Mills makes 20. If we gain one, it's 21. If we lose one, that's 19. If we gain and lose, it's 20 again. We'll see how today unfolds. 17 of those 19 players coming into today that were expected to sign have signed at the moment I'm recording this video. There were 10 four-star players expected to sign. As I'm sitting here right now, 9 of them have signed. Now, when you think about CORTEZ Mills, 6'1", 180 pounds. I've also seen him listed at 165. I guess is subject to whatever you want to say. No, that's just how it is, ladies and gentlemen. He's a 4-star player, top 200 rated player in America. All right. He has a rating of 91. Now, he's actually been expected to flip for a while. Okay, Oklahoma really wanted to keep him. They actually threw more NIL money his way, all right, especially recently in the last few days. Again, shout out to Garrett McGuire, who actually established this relationship. He will no longer be the wide receivers coach here. We'll see if he stays on at Nebraska because he has that option, and if so, what capacity that could be. He was a college quarterback, so he's a good recruiter. He's a young guy with a bright future, brings a lot to the table. Okay, so shout out to him. Obviously, Dana Holgerson. And the new wide receivers coach expected to be anyway, Dykeel Shorts, I'm sure played a role in this along as well with Matt Rhule. Now, this is a guy who had scholarship offers from a bunch of schools, from LSU to Florida to Miami to Clemson to Georgia to Michigan. You get the idea. He averaged 80 yards receiving per game in high school. But here's the stat that stuck out to me. 22 yards per reception is what he averaged as well. All right, Nebraska also has, as I mentioned, their quarterback of the future. I mean, I will say this, transfer portal, all this and that. You know, when a guy commits, is he actually going to sign? Does a guy flip 2 or 3 times? Well, at least TJ Lateef, the 4-star quarterback, who I think has a lot of physical potential and ability to do a lot of things, is signed, all right? And he's going to have time to grow and develop, all right, and get better here at Nebraska. Now, 6'2", 195 pounds, is officially signed, has offers obviously from Nebraska, Georgia, Auburn, Arizona State, who may be in the playoff this year if they win the Big 12 championship game this weekend. Arizona State winning the Big 12 championship, if that happens, just doesn't sound right. But I digress. There were some rumors and things last summer about TJ, how strong was the commitment, things here and there. I was kind of sitting there waiting today, all right, what's going to officially happen, but he has officially signed. This is a quarterback room that features Dylan Raiola. Best of luck to Daniel Kalen in the future. He has obviously hit the portal. Former Nebraska quarterback Chubba Purdy is in the portal. I don't anticipate him to come back. That's neither here nor there, but Dylan Raiola, all right, Heinrich Harburg, and TJ Latif are what this quarterback room features right now as far as their quarterbacks. All right, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors real quick, DPS Concrete Construction, Concrete Retaining Wall. They are your experts in both areas. If you need such work done, go to dpsconstruction.net. Also, Allen Capital Group. Check them out at allencapgroup.com. That's ALLENCAP group.com. They have offices in Grand Island, Ogallala, and Omaha. Next Level Solutions, Allen Capital Group, Next Level Solutions for next level needs, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm going to dive into some of the other commitments, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to do a full deep dive later today after Matt Rule's press conference. But right off the top, all right, growing the Polynesian pipeline, Brian Tapu. This dude's got some nasty film, and I mean that in a great way for an offensive lineman. All right, trained by a former Husker offensive lineman. All right, as well, Bryson Weber, the ball hawk from the Lone Star State, is in. All right, Jackson Carpenter, who is an explosive, talented athlete from Lincoln Southwest. You got Pierce Newberry, all right, another Nebraska boy that's in. Cade Pierstack, this is an individual, Cade is an individual 4-star defensive lineman. All right, Connor Booth, dude put up ridiculous stats last year if you watched him and followed him. Okay, you got Juju Marks, 4-star offensive lineman, who is the guy who's going to bring a lot of talent, a lot of ability as well. All right, the top player, the number 1 prospect from the state of South Dakota, has also signed as well, Sean Hammerbeck. I just love that name, Hammerbeck. That's a great freaking name. Christian Jones, all right, and Dawson Merritt. It's going to be fun to watch these young linebackers. When you think about Christian Jones, Dawson Merritt, Vincent Shavers, Willis McGahee, there's certain guys we've got to keep out of the portal. I just named 2 of them. Vincent Shavers, Willis McGahee, all right, and then also Dylan Raiola and Ja'Cory Barney. Now, I know Dylan Raiola's been peer recruiting. All right, I know he's excited and loves what Dana has done. I know that for a fact. And Ja'Cory Barney went out on X when Dana was signed to come back as the offensive coordinator, and he posted something that indicates he's pretty happy as well. Now, when you look at this linebacker group, McGahee to Shavers to Jones to Merritt, very athletic. Young, but very athletic linebacker group that's going to be fun to watch going forward into the future. All right, let's see what other quick notes I've got on this right here. Oh, yeah, 5-star athlete Michael Terry, if you hadn't heard, committed to Gag Me U. All right, to Texas. That's what I call them without even realizing it anymore. All right, I thought this was funny. All right, because this has been such a crazy week. Somebody put out Kool-Aid Connoisseur. So people think Travis Hunter is impressive. Just wait till Dylan Raiola is playing linebacker and Ja'Cory Barney is playing safety because Nebraska's whole defense is gone. I know, that's not funny, right? It's funny because you got to keep a sense of humor about these things. People are going to come, people are going to go, coaches are going to come, it's going to go. You can't panic. It's just part of college football. You just got to see how this unfolds. Who do we bring in as the DC? Who transfers in and all this and that? Okay, I just thought it was funny because just the thought of it was funny. I will say this. I do see Ja'Cory Barney as the next Tavon Austin potentially for Dana Holgorsen. All right. After the bowl game, 10 of Nebraska's top 13 defenders by total snaps will be gone. So we're going to need to bring in some new, young, talented individuals, which we're clearly doing right here, right now. All right. 13 of the 19 players expected to sign today are within Nebraska's 500-mile recruiting radius. All right. Now, I should note one of Nebraska's current Husker commits will not sign just yet, waiting on a few things. All right. Dykeel Shorts, I haven't chatted about him yet. Okay, but there's a potential, the expected wide receivers coach. Played for Dana Holgorsen, coached wide receivers under Holgorsen at Houston. All right. There's the potential of him flipping current Kentucky commit. He's been his main recruiter, DeJarian Mills. This is a guy who's 6'3", 195 pounds from St. Louis. I'm familiar with that area, obviously, having played with the Rams back when they were in St. Louis. Depending on where you look, he's a 4-star wide receiver. Some places have him listed as a 3-star wide receiver as well. So recruiting day, signing day is always exciting. It's always fun. It's always one of the most busy, crazy days of the year. It's not very often I do multiple gut reactions in one day. I'll be doing 2 today. I'm probably going to put out another show tomorrow. I did 3 on Monday. Holy Moses Malone. I've never done that many gut reactions, and going on 11 years now of covering Nebraska football here on the Carriker Chronicles. So this is going to be an off season unlike anything we have ever seen. The transfer portal is crazier than it's ever been. Signing days, it's wild. You got NIL. Then you got to the thing that's going to put it over the top is the fact that you're going from, in Nebraska's case, 150 players, you got to get down to 105, whether you want to or not. That in of itself is going to make this the craziest offseason in history. But I do want to note this. As exciting as this all is, and as much fun as this all is, and again, all right, this is a Nick Saban quote. Because I've always been that guy that's like, hey, who you are when you walk through the door is one thing. What you do once you're in the building, that's what matters the most. So here's a Nick Saban quote that I love. And I quote, just because a guy is gifted athletically doesn't mean he wants to be great. Some guys just want to survive. Average can be a person's default, but greatness, that's a choice. Greatness isn't found in your DNA, it's found in your decisions. End quote. Great quote by him. Now I should mention, we talked about a receiver. I mean, these guys could be announcing they're flipping right now while I'm recording this video, but this was put out via Steve Wiltfong. All right. He's logged an expert prediction for Missouri to flip Nebraska athlete commit Jeremiah Jones. So we'll see if that happens. We'll see if we can flip the current Kentucky commit Jarian Mills. We'll see what happens. So here are my questions, 3 questions for you fine folks at home. Let me know, as always, your answers in the comments below. Number 1, will there be another flip, whether it goes from Nebraska or to Nebraska throughout today? Number 2, do you feel pretty good about the class so far? Just simply say yes or no. And what do we still need? If the class stays as is, as expected, what do we still need to get via the transfer portal? And there technically still is a signing day in February for some reason. It's not the real signing day anymore. I don't think Nebraska signed a single guy last year in February. It was all done in December. But what do we still need? All right, ladies and gentlemen, tune in later today, tune in tomorrow, tune in throughout the craziest offseason under God's hot sun in the history of college football. Go Big Red Nose. Remember, go the Bugs.